I've got it.
Out of school, I think I just kind of realised I didn't really know where I wanted to be placed in industry or what I wanted to be doing. So I could have gone straight into a degree, but I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. I think I was kind of considering graphics at that stage, and doing the foundation degree allowed me to kind of see all these different areas, and I realised how excited I was by animation, how much I loved that, and that kind of then gave me the opportunity to try that and move into animation, which I now love. So I think it gives you that opportunity just to try a few more things out and place yourself better.
What inspired you to go into animation?
I think probably initially it was, I used to enjoy this kind of like science fiction things,
Yeah.
so like the Star Treks and the Star Wars and all that, and I think probably if I went back and looked at my earliest animations, it was tending to be all spaceships and space scenes and things like that. So and then I got into doing kind of characters and how fun it was to actually create a character out of nothing. Just kind of start with a box and end up with something that's actually got a personality and that you can do anything with. So yeah, and that was always quite enjoyable.
What are the skill gaps that you've identified in the animation sector?
Basically, there are a lot of areas that are missing in my opinion. And I think some of those are the teaching of the fundamentals of animation, and the reasons why you're learning what you're learning, and then how to actually expand on those aspects to be more creative.
What makes a good animator?
A great place to start. This might be a bit of a shameless plug. This book is like the Bible for animators. It's by the guy who actually animated Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I don't know if you've seen that, but a really, really great book. So something like this is a great place to start to get to thinking. So he goes through kind of the basic movements. I mean, all you're doing in animation is faking movement, so it's getting a series of stills to look like things are moving. So it's thinking about kind of timing and movement. I mean, even in a digital world, so when you're working 3D animation on a computer, the basics start here. So what does movement look like? All the different shapes here of how a person moves, how they bend.
How can a foundation degree help fill the gaps in the animation sections that the degree at the moment isn't filling?
I think if the foundation degree is set up properly, and it's set up in stages, so right from the beginning the student has an understanding of all the basic principles, right from hand drawing, hand drawing sketches and animation and storyboarding, the script and elements of the script where they should be involved in it at certain aspects, and actually having input with the storyboarding and with the concept art and stuff to make sure that everything's strong and rigid. It's a whole thing of planning. In this game, if you don't plan something out properly and you just begin modelling and animating, it's never going to work. You have to make sure the plan is right and it's all planned out well. So I think the foundation degree needs to make sure that the students have an understanding of all of the different areas to be able to then get to a stage where they then get the modelling understanding, they then get the animating understanding, the lighting, the rendering, the post-production, and right down to actually, okay, how does it actually get seen on the screen? Different codecs, different encoding that you would do. What's the difference between NTSC and PAL? I mean, just those sort of fundamental things. I mean, high definition now, you've got full HD 1080, you've got 720, you've got sort of like the in-betweens that these TVs are giving different resolutions and things, and it's understanding, why should we do something 1080 or 2K or 4K, and that's making sure that that foundation degree covers those sort of aspects.
Okay, so the basic principles you have in 3D software is essentially what you're working with is kind of an infinite X, Y and Z axis. So you can put vertices on any of those points and start to build geometric shapes in kind of open space. So you can start with a primitive shape like a box, You can add different numbers of vertices and lines to it, and from there, let's open that up. You can grab certain sort of areas of the polygons. You can extrude them out. You can do anything you like to that to start actually editing and forming any form of organic kind of shape to things. And this is kind of your basis to modelling. So anything you're trying to model, you can put in there. And ultimately, you come up with a shape. Once you've got the kind of a model you're happy with, and there's all sorts of other things you might want to start thinking about in animation. So your kind of basic texturing, what kind of texture that's got, how it reacts to light. You can edit all these things within your material editor, and then you can apply that to your model.
What will the role of creation studios be in actually helping with the foundation degree, helping students in gaining that all-important work experience and gaining the skills that they need?
I think there's a couple of areas there. We've got quite experienced people on our staff and within our team that we would look to actually send out to the college to work with the lecturers and work with the students on a regular basis, and also have the students come in here. Obviously we've got this cinema set up where we can have kind of like 15 students at a time, and do a mixture of different things. That would be getting them used to a studio environment and an understanding of the real world, as it were, and sometimes the pressures and things that are related to the real world. And then also an understanding of all of the technology and the equipment and stuff. Things like we've obviously got the in-house render farm and post-production suites and different things like that, on how we do different things and some of the techniques that we use in-house, as well as, you know, within the college or the university as well. So they can see a difference between kind of like within an educational environment and within the real life world.
Do you deem artistic skills more important than computer skills? Would you prefer an animator to be able to work well with a computer, or to have the essential drawing skills in order to develop characters and actually produce them?
There's a choice really, because I think if they haven't got the experience and they've not at that point targeted a particular area, then they either need to show a good all-round understanding from a generalist point of view, but with a look to be going towards a particular area, or there's the other side, which is they've already decided that they're going to focus on character animation, they're already going to focus on lighting or post-production, and therefore what they're showing is the best elements of that particular area they're going to focus on. I mean, the main thing with any show reel is just make sure you've only got your best stuff in. Never put any, if there's anything in there that you're not happy with, don't put it in. Because if you're not happy with it, then the likelihood is that the person that's watching it isn't going to be impressed.
You're going to be judging an animation competition with Harlow College for their media conference. What are you looking for in the animation films? What will make it stand out, make it special, and probably even win the competition?
Yeah, so I think even from a short story, seeing a creative and enjoyable story, whether it be fun or whether it be whatever it could be violent, it could be romantic, anything.
That was my best one.